Thank you, Dr. Organ and Dr. Wilson. I'll be quick in interest of time. No disclosures. So where are we right now? We just saw some beautiful presentations, videos. There's no secret, the Da Vinci system is the main robotic system out there, over 4,000 systems worldwide. But there are a few more FDA-approved systems, which if you want to see more, tomorrow we'll have a more comprehensive talk. But we know about the Senhance system, which in Europe has been around for over 10 years, just FDA cleared in October. You have the Flex Med Robotics, which mostly has been used by ENT, but it has now received FDA approval for transabdominal procedures. It was more of a notes device. And of course, the new Monarch system, which we'll kind of go over, that was approved 2 weeks ago. The S platform, the patent did run out, so now there are more imitation systems out there. This is the South Korea's version of their robot. It's mostly based on the S. Chinese manufacturer, I forgot which one it was, they also have something similar. Well, this is the only one I'm going to talk about that's FDA cleared. The rest of them are pending FDA. If you recognize the name, Frederick Moll, they're one of the original founders for Intuitive, but left about 10, 12 years ago. This is a purely, let's see, this is a system with flexible arms and cameras and instruments. It's almost like an Xbox or PlayStation platform where you use a joystick, and you can even see the joystick looks very similar. You're using a combination of CT scans and imaging to, the first indication will be to do lung biopsies or actually resections via the lung. Verb, Dr. Organ probably can talk more about it, but all they really have is a fancy icon logo. But they promise quite a bit, as Google would promise. That essentially, they would have a robotic platform. I don't think they're going to reinvent the wheel, but we'll see. Advanced visualization instrumentations, but data analytics and connectivity. Their goal is to connect every robot or robotic system, and essentially these are computer-aided or digital platforms anyway. Connect them and learn from each other. So if Dr. Kutsi is doing an inguinal hernia and I'm trying to do an inguinal hernia and mine is terrible and his is better, I could probably learn more from his robot. So basically they're trying to take some of the automation and add this to their system. Have to talk about Medtronic. They accidentally dropped their name, Einstein, in a blog. They're probably going to use licensed technology, especially from DLR, which is Mirosurge. It's a German space contractor who created robotic mechanical arms. They individually are attached to the OR table, so they're a little bit more mobile, but it's again controlled by joysticks. Does have haptic feedback with force sensors and resistance feedback. This is what it sort of looks like. This is what Mirosurge looks like. Again, console-based mobile arms. Cambridge Medical Robotics versus Surgical System. This will probably have FDA approval by the end of 2018. It's from our neighbors across the pond. I mean, well, I guess Atlanta. So that's England. Modular system, up to 5 instruments. Each arm has a separate base. Their whole concept is to make things smaller. 3 joints and mimics your physical arm, shoulder, elbow, wrist, 5mm instrumentation. If that's not small enough, let's go to Italy. Medical Microinstruments, 3mm wrists and instruments. Their premise is instead of having a separate console, you know, most of these systems are the master-slave concept. We should probably rethink that name, but that's the terminology that they use. This will have joysticks at bedside. This company is aiming for more plastics, more microsurgery applications. Nanyang Technical University out of Singapore, more of a notes an endoluminal device with controllers that will use image mapping. The prototypes are a little big, but this is the concept they're going for. These are all undergoing clinical trials, all the devices. I'm not going to talk about any of the devices that aren't or just concepts. Virtual Incision, Dr. Lenikoff's baby. Portable robot, less than 2 pounds. Very modular. It's a single port. It looks a little big on this, but he's promising it's going to be smaller. It is controller-based as well. It is disposable. We'll see how many lives, and each of the instruments can be changed. I'll skip. Can't forget about Intuitive. The SP system does have FDA clearance for urologic procedures. It is rolling out as we speak. It will be in either, right now it's a separate system, but it should be an add-on eventually. They're focused more on, I mean, if you looked at the system, they haven't really changed since 1999. It's the same concept, just as technology has changed and the hardware has changed, software has changed, they've created applications for it. Evolving instruments and software, you just saw the video where you can now measure your incision with the instruments. Okay, so where are we heading with this? Obviously smaller portable machines. I don't know if size really matters at this point, but I think as technology changes, we're probably gonna go more to electrical guided systems versus wire-based systems. Hopefully much cheaper, so it'll be a more sustainable, financially sustainable model, which hopefully will increase access for MIS surgery. And as the technology changes, we're probably gonna have a true transition to automation. Right now, it is still the surgeon controlling every aspect of the surgery, but as promising, hopefully computer will actually use the digital processing to help us with operations. This is just a video as it's playing. Chinese dentist, the first robotic dentist, the computer did 2 dental implants within an hour with no surgeon input, all computer modeled. And for me, my true passion, how are we gonna educate the surgeons, especially with all these platforms coming out? Right now, it's in basically one manufacturer, but when you have 10 robots, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna educate residents? Some of us have those. How are you gonna educate surgeons? And then how are you gonna ask your hospitals which systems to buy, which ones to support? You can't have every single one of them. And the next 2 years are gonna be quite interesting, especially 2018, 2019. Acknowledge these folks. Thank you.
Thank you very much.